These are the things we'll be needing for this tutorial. We are going to be needing our scissors, our fabric, our pattern paper, our tape, and of course our ruler. You can use any fabric of your choice though. This is the fabric I had left from an outfit I made some time ago. The pattern paper is very necessary because you cannot start drafting your pattern on your main fabric. I'm going to start by drawing my starting line like this. This is going to be where I want my strap to start from. I'll get the middle of my pattern paper because the measurement I will be taking will be from the middle of my pattern paper. The entire breadth of my pattern paper was 11, and the middle of 11 is 5.5. So from there I'm going to mark a straight line down to the end of the pattern paper like this. The next thing to do is to get our length. You are going to start measuring your length from your strap point. That is where you want your strap to start from. My desired length was 11 and I add 1 extra inches for folding allowance, making it 12. This length is quite subjective. You can measure it as long as you want it to be. Okay, so after doing that, I'm going to mark a straight line to indicate my M line. The next thing is to measure from your strap point down to your under bust. You are going to mark it exactly below your under breast so that it's going to fit your boobs very well. And mine was 6.5. I'm going to mark a straight line across that part to serve as an indication for me. The next thing we are going to do is to measure your cup coverage. We get our cup coverage by measuring from your side boobs to the center of your breasts of that breast. That is your first boobs. You measure from the side to the center to get the, should I say, round circumference of that particular breast. I'm not very busty, so mine was 7. I marked 3.5 inches on each side, and I'll connect from the strap point down to that part to give me a triangular shape. From the M line, I'm going to mark that same 7 inches on the bottom, 3.5 on one side and 3.5 on the other side. I'm doing this so that I will be able to get the shape. We are just going to make an indication. After that, from that indication, you are going to come out by 1 inch or 1.5 inch. It depends on how you want it to be shaped to bring out that butterfly gathered shape at the bottom. Okay, that's why we are doing this. For me, I came out by 1/2 inch because I don't want it to be too spread out, but it depends on your choice though. Like I said, it's not a one size fits all, depending on what you like. And when I was done with that, I'm going to connect the points together with the point I have on my under bust measurements. So after that, I'm going to smoothen out the edges. I'm going to smoothen out the points to give it a breast-like curve. Then we'll proceed to cutting it around my edges. So this was what we had when we are done with the cutting. This is going to be the shape you are going to get. This is not the final stage though. We are going to do a slash and spread method. Not really a slash and spread method, like a spread method. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to cut through the middle straight line like this. Mind you, you are not cutting it all the way to the end. You are going to cut it almost to the end and stop there. You are going to introduce another pattern paper. Okay, this is why I said that pattern paper is very necessary for this slash and spread method. So you're going to put it on top of it and arrange it on top like this. You are going to pin one side, and from here, this is where you determine how you want the bottom to be very gathered. If you want it to be very gathered, you can increase this measurement I'm about to make at the bottom. The measurement I took here was 5 inches. I'm not that busty. I'm quite a slim person, so I'm going to mark 5 inches. You can use 6 or 7 depending on how busty you are, how you're depending on your body type though. Then I'm going to take the other side and place it on the mark to give me that 5 inches that I want. You are going to pin everything down so that you'd have something that is well arranged and you can cut through easily. I'm going to make a shape at the bottom to connect one point to the other point so I can get a straight curve. I don't know why I did that. I think I was trying to indicate the purpose of all these things we are doing is to get the gathered effect. So we are going to cut through that line and we'll cut across all the unnecessary edges. So this is what we should have. This is what it should look like. I'm going to go ahead and cut it on my original fabric that I will be using. I'm going to double my fabric into two so that I won't have to go through the stress of cutting it one. Remember previously I already added 1 inch to my length, making it 12 inches. All I'm going to do is to add ½ inch to the side and then cut through like this. This is what it should be looking like when you are done cutting it through. Yours might be bigger, yours might be smaller, depending on your size and your bust measurements. I'm going to keep this one aside and proceed to cutting my straps. Whenever I'm making spaghetti stripes, I like to use this ruler to get my measurement. I'll be marking 4 lines so that I can get my exact 20 inches for each stripes. I'm going to join two together, then join them with my sewing machine and sew all the way. Set that aside and we are going to be using our fabric, whatever we have left, to do the turning of the stripes. If you have a lining, it's very advisable to use a lining for everything, but I didn't have enough fabric left with me. That's why I'm doing this. You can do the same if you face similar circumstances with me, but lining is actually preferable. And beside, I wanted mine to be very free and light. I'm going to cut two of these, one for each side. So basically, these are all the pieces we'll be needing to pull this off. We are going to start by sewing our spaghetti ends. This is what I had when I was done sewing it in my machine. The next thing I'm going to do is to sandwich this straps between my main fabric and the lining that I cut for it. I'm going to place them right side facing each other. I'll pin down the stripes and I'll sew around it like that. This is what I had when I was done sewing. The next thing I'm going to do is to turn it out and top stitch on it so that it's going to be firm. When I was done, this was what it looks like. I top stitched on it and I folded the edges together so that it will not fray. I did that for the both of them. Right now I'm going to sew in the casing for our rope for the waist. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to turn it out and measure from my strap point to my under bust. That I will indicate it. That is where I'm going to put my casing for my waist rope. I'm going to measure 6.5 all around it, and then I'll measure my breadth like you see me doing in the camera. I'll measure my breadth like the breadth of my cup to determine how long my casing is going to be. I've gone ahead to cut my casing. I'll go to the machine and sew them in like this. This, my friends, is the final outcome. It's comfortable, it's cute, it's everything. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks.